Hi everyone, and welcome back to another School on the Air. Today's topic is art for the love of nature. So let's get started. In our last lesson, we went through some of the threats to our environment right now. These were climate change, pollution, hunting, habitat loss, invasive species, and diseases that all contribute to biodiversity loss. These pictures represent each of these problems. But how do they make you feel? Remember how Ma'am Marwin taught you about your emotions last week? What emotions do those images and those threats to the environment make you feel? Is it sadness, depression, anxiety? It's very common nowadays for people to face eco-anxiety. And like Ma'am Marwin talked about earlier, anxiety is constantly worrying about something. And eco-anxiety is that constant worry, but about the future of the planet. And oftentimes this is accompanied by feelings of hopelessness, that there's nothing that you can do to help and improve our planet. It's very, very common in young people because young people have a long future ahead of them and they're worried about what will happen to the planet in their lifetime. But we need to think about strategies to help us handle our eco-anxiety. Two of these strategies are making art and going out into nature. These two subjects, art and nature, seem very different from one another, but they actually have so much in common. And a lot of environmentalists, when they first go explore a new area, maybe they see an animal that they've never seen before, or a brand new species of plant that has never been described to science. The first thing that these environmentalists will do is actually draw or paint an image in a notebook so that they know exactly how it looked in the environment that it was meant to be in. One of the skills that art and nature possess in common is that of observation. There's an author called Robert McFarlane, and he's well known for his environmental books. And he has a quote that goes, "We will not save what we do not love, and we rarely love what we cannot name or do not see." Meaning that in order to care for something, you really need to spend time with it and look at it and see it from all different perspectives. And that's how you'll start to care for nature. It's also very valuable for developing art because you can start to look at art or the object that you're drawing from many different angles. So in order to do this, artists and scientists alike both need to look at the shape of what they're drawing or what they're studying. So an environmentalist might go out into nature looking for a specific shape of a tree or a pattern of a bird flying in the sky. And if there's something that is unexpected in that shape, then they might look for more details. This is where texture starts to come into play. An environmentalist might be looking for the texture of an insect trail on a leaf or mold on a log. And this texture is really important to look at in your art as well, because it helps to make the art come to life and gives it a lot more depth. And lastly, creativity is really important for handling complex emotions where words might be too difficult or they might not accurately portray your feelings. So it's important to get these emotions out through art. And when it comes to nature, we need to use this creativity to think about what solutions can we make to our environmental threats. Maybe this is an invention to help with pollution. Maybe it's just changing the way that we do agriculture, or coming up with your own solution in your home to help every little bit that you can. But any way you look at it, you need to have a creative idea to help our environment as well. So my challenge to you today is to use that observation, shape, texture, and creativity to look at an item in nature in a different perspective. And hopefully this will open up your mind to new ideas and ways of seeing the world. So let's get started. What we're going to do to start is take out a piece of paper. I want you now to fold this so it has 4 segments. We'll fold it in half one way and then another way. You can be as creative with this as you want. I really don't care how you fold it. You can see I made an X. You might want to make a T or any crazy shape, as long as there's 4 segments. What you'll need to have is something to draw with and something from nature. You can see here that I've got 2 different leaves. Which one should I choose? I think I'll choose this one with all these tiny leaves. It seems more interesting. For the first segment, we're going to focus on observing. For our first corner, you're going to look at your natural object and draw for the next 5 minutes without taking your pencil off of the paper. and we're only going to look at the leaf. So don't look at your paper at all. When you don't take your eyes off of your natural object, you're going to see new parts of it that you've never seen before. It's totally okay if it looks messy. It's really important to learn that it's good to make mistakes. The valuable thing to learn from doing this exercise is the observational skills. And it's totally okay to go in and add extra detail at the end. But make sure that you still don't pick up your pencil. So that's the added challenge. You'll have to go through and add to it. If yours looks amazing, congrats. But it's okay if it looks sloppy. We need to understand that it's okay to make mistakes. This will help with our mental well-being overall. In the next corner, where we want to focus on shape, we're just going to put our natural object on the paper and trace the outline of it. hopefully, when you take your item off of your paper, you'll see what the shape of that item actually is. And maybe when you go out in the future, you can look for it and look based on the shadows that you see. In your next corner, we're going to pay attention to the texture. So you guessed it, we're going to put our natural object underneath the paper. And we're going to rub with any of our drawing utensils. And we'll get the texture of what that natural object is. Again, it might look a little messy, and the object might fall apart a little bit, but it's okay. Again, it's totally okay if it looks messy. We can learn to accept it just the way that it is. Now, in your last corner, here is the real challenge for you. I want you to spend the next 5 minutes, and you can use your natural object in any way that you'd like. It could be standing upright, it could be on its side, it would help to maybe tape or glue your natural object to the paper so that it doesn't move. And you can use a pen or a pencil, and for the next 5 minutes, just keep adding to a doodle. It could be anything. Your imagination should go as far as possible. What I hope is that by deeply observing your natural object and focusing your attention on that natural object, your mind is relaxed and you're open to all sorts of new ideas. And you've looked at this natural object in ways that you've never looked at it before. And this should unleash a beautiful doodle. Doodling is really valuable for concentrating your mind sometimes and just getting those emotions out on paper. So, when you've all finished, I hope that you post your art on our Facebook page and we'll submit it to the Google form online. Thank you guys so much for participating today, and I hope you have a creative rest of your day.